Afcon, the African Cup of Nations 2025 final. Senegal 1-0 Morocco after extra time. Guye's Thunderbolt crowns Lions of Teranga in the most chaotic Afcon final ever. African football witnessed one of the most dramatic, controversial and emotionally charged nights as Senegal defeated host Morocco 1-0 after extra time to lift the African Cup of Nations trophy thanks to a stunning strike from Pape Gueye in Rabat. This is the second time that the Teranga Lions of Senegal will be winning this trophy. It was a final that had everything: missed penalties, mass player protest, VAR controversy, tears, blood, stoppage time chaos, and finally a moment of pure brilliance that separated champions from the heartbroken. A final that refused to be ordinary. The first 90 minutes of the African Cup of Nations final were relatively cagey, tense, and tactical, with both sides wary of making the fatal mistake. Senegal's Iliman Ndiaye and Morocco's Nayef Aguerd missed clear chances late in the first half, while Ayoub El Khabib of Morocco blazed wide from close range in 58 minutes. A sizzling collision between El Hadji Malik Diop and Niel El Ayanau left the Moroccan midfielder bleeding heavily, forcing an 8-minute stoppage that would later play a major role in the unfolding drama. As the clock ticked into stoppage time, chaos erupted, controversy, protest, and a 24-minute stoppage time. In the first minute of added time, Senegal thought they had won it. Ismaila Sarr nodded home after Idrissa Gueye's header struck the post, but referee Jean-Jacques Ndala ruled it out for a soft foul on Ashraf Hakimi. Senegal were furious, but worse was still to come. In the 5th minute of stoppage time, Morocco were awarded a penalty after Brahim Diaz were down under pressure from Diop. The decision sparked outrage. Senegal head coach Pape Thiaw led his entire team off the pitch in protest, refusing to continue play, while captain Sadio Mane desperately urged his teammates to return. The penalty was eventually taken 19 minutes later in the 24th minute of stoppage time. Diaz, Panaka, and Mendes' ice cold moment. With a chance to win the African Cup of Nations for the hosts with the final kick of regulation time, Brahim Diaz stepped up and opted for a Panenka. It was a disastrous choice. Edouard Mendy, calm, composed, and unmoved, stayed on his feet and easily caught the chip. Diaz collapsed in tears. Rabat fell silent. The final went to extra time. Justice, as Senegal would later call it, had been delayed but not denied. Pape Gueye, bundling his way to the edge of the box, unleashed an unstoppable left-footed pile driver into the far corner. A goal worthy of winning any final, and one that instantly entered the Afcon folklore. It was historic, though it was historic too. The first goal Senegal have ever scored in the African Cup of Nations final after previously scoreless finals in 2002 and 2021, and a 1-0 loss in 2019. Morocco threw everything forward. Aguerd headed against the crossbar, while Cherif Ndiaye somehow missed an open goal at the other end. When the final whistle blew, the stadium erupted, half in joy, half in disbelief. Senegal were champions of Africa for the second time. Ruthless Senegal, wasteful Morocco. Despite the scoreline, Morocco dominated statistically. Morocco had 20 shots. They had 2.19 expected goal, only 3 on target. Senegal, on the other hand, had 14 shots, 1.75 expected goal, and 7 on target. But finals are not won on numbers. They are won on mentality, discipline, and moment. Football won. Edouard Mendy speaks. Senegal goalkeeper Edouard Mendy summed up the night perfect. In the end, football won. Morocco had everything in their favor, but we responded in our own way. Tonight, Senegal can celebrate. On Diaz's penalty miss, Mendy was clear. He tried the Panenka. I stayed on my feet. I stopped him. We move on from the controversy. Man of the match, Idrissa Gueye, echoed those words. It was a very complicated match. We didn't cheat. Senegal are African champions and we are very happy. Lessons from the African Cup of Nations 2025. As the curtain falls on the African Cup of Nations 2025, one lesson stands tall. Hosting comes with advantage, but not entitlement. entitlement. CAF must ensure fairness and neutrality because the world is watching. Morocco had the crowd, the momentum, and decisions going their way, but Senegal had belief, organization, and a ruthless edge. Nigerians Super Eagle learned this the hard way, failing at the semi-final stage to Morocco via penalty. Senegal, however, adapted, stayed brave, and seized their moment. African football remains unpredictable, emotional, and beautifully chaotic, and that is why we love it. Final word: from mass protests to moments of magic, from tears to triumph, Senegal's victory will be remembered as one of the most dramatic African Cup of Nations finals of all time. A night when pressure exposed nerves, character rose above chaos, and African once again showed the world why its football is unmatched in passion. For more African Cup of Nations coverage, soccer gist, trending sports stories, and transfer rumors, subscribe to our YouTube channels, that is Avuncular's Production and Avuncular Movie on YouTube. You can also connect and follow us on TikTok at Avuncular's Production, at Avuncular Studio, at Achegbulu David, and at Avuncular 24. I remain your host and sport presenter, Achegbulu David, reporting for Avuncular Services. On behalf of the management team of Avuncular Services, we want to thank you for taking our time to watch this particular episode to the very end. We hope to see you in subsequent episode. It is goodbye from us for now. Thanks at Avuncular's Production and Avuncular Movie. Copyright Avuncular Services.